Master Hernandez Cruz, apart from his art and all that he represents life in Puerto Rico. He represents putting all of us together here. His daughter Marilyn represents a very talented Puerto Rican that left Puerto Rico as many of our talented Puerto Rican left after going to pursue her degrees and studies and stayed in New York for a long time. But she decided on coming back. And that's a profile that is important now and it will be very important for our future. So she also tied us to our history, our who we are. Raimundo Figueroa came to be with us. He's a great master artist also, and he's inaugurating an exhibition on the 6th of March, which all of you will be invited. And he's a great master artist that left Puerto Rico to pursue more global currents, and that's important. But he has Puerto Rico on his heart, and that's his place, the place he comes back. So the partnership for Modern Puerto Rico has become the place to create collaboration and get together very talented but socially conscious new residents, diaspora that wants to be engaged or wants to come back, and we that are the local residents that have been here all of our life. That's the reason we are here. That's Puerto Rico. And I would like Master Hernandez Cruz to share with us some anecdotes, how he works, how he divide his time. How is your technique? For me, it's a mystery. I love to see your art. We have your art. If I can add, we acquired from Jose Alegria one great piece of art by Master Luis Hernandez Cruz many years ago. And for me, it's still a mystery of how he can do all this magic. So
Well, this is the second part, you know. The first was the workshop, which doesn't, somebody said that it doesn't look like a workshop because it's too clean. You know, entonces, but yes, I'm like that. I mean, I take one painting at a time. Uh, I never paint a lot myself. No, no, no. That's expressionistic style. There was a moment in the 60s that I started with abstract expressionism, but never get dirty or whatever. So, so this is the second part. And this, I will start with the story of this little gallery. Uh, I wanted to do here a workshop, you know, and then we start that, but the architect, a great architect, Oliver Sifontes, who made the Estadio de Irán Bithorn,
the Ram
and he was the first architect in the Caribbean to use cantilever so that he doesn't use colors. It was something. A person from Paris once came here to me. You know this guy? Well, I'm looking for him. And said, well, he built this. So Orval started the design of this. Then I changed it in great part because I put the ceilings and the floors. It was going to be a workshop, and then I said, why not a gallery? I mean, private gallery, not to public. Well, that's the story of this other space, which is many people say that is the best private gallery of an artist in the Caribbean. And I know the other guy, for example, a great painter of Dominican Republic, and who didn't have a big workshop, but he did a mural for the UNESCO in Paris and in et cetera, et cetera. So I'm fortunate to have this. It started as a gallery, and I put here a show in 1980. So yes, of a quote. I did it in Paris, and the Puerto Rican Association of Critics gave me a prize at that time because of those works on paper. And one good admirer of mine, a good person, which I love a lot, she acquired some, and she also acquired paintings that donated to the Ponce Museum of Rosario Fair. Well, the story of the gallery. Now it's also a storage. So I have to, you see, so I paint so much that look at that. I start putting the paintings there, and also here is another storage in this room. Big paintings inside there. Yes, inside there. And down in the at the pool there is a two more storage of painting. I have about 450 paintings in the works in the house. And also, I have to tell you that I don't know if I said it already, that I painted
1,300.
that are catalog. Well, anyway, so I paint all my life since I was 10 years old. That's where I started really, and professionally, because I paint little paintings of the landscapes in Caguas, and when I finished them, and was walking to my house, there was a man who owns a bicycle repair shop and selling bicycle, and he used to stop me. I was 10 years old. Come here. What do you have there? And I show him. He gave me $10 for every painting every Saturday. So, Mulero, his name of Mulero in Caguas. So that's the story. I have been painting it. I say that because when you have to paint, well, any painting that really is a from hard, but have to work every day and still work every day.
So that's one of your secrets. A wood painter have to work every day.
Yeah. You are always thinking in the painting. If you don't want to, you are always thinking in the painting I have there. I don't know. You cannot block that. You cannot put that aside. And then, but because I hear a lot of classical music, of course, and other things. I work with the bonsais, but then back to the version to there, and I work quickly. In the 20s, I showed in New York in some little galleries, and that was not. Then came this man from Spain, the director of museums and galleries and art, Luis González Robles, who was one of my padrinos, godfathers. And he came here to looking for paintings to do this big exhibition of 1962 of art of America and Spain. And that was showed in Madrid and then in Barcelona. That's where I started, because later on, he invited me to show at the Museum of Contemporary Art in Madrid, which was the center of Spain. And at the same time, fortunately, there came a show 1 week after our. We were five artists, from Spain and mine. And then came the show of Dali's jewelry. And the prince, is now the king, or was the king later, he went there. And have you seen the Dali's jewelry? It's something. It was a commission by an Argentinian, and it cost millions of dollars. And even he have even the elephants with long legs that using the picture of a he have those in his in jewelry. They are little sculptures, and there is a heart full of diamond or whatever, and that palpitates. Oh, you have to see that sometime. It's something. I was fortunate to have that and to see that, and I have my show there. And then after that came the international scene, mainly with Prince, because Prince was the most popular and easy things to become international for Puerto Rican, because we don't have embassies, we don't have where to show every country, like every big country have an embassy where they look for the place for the artists to promote. So this Luis González Robles, this great man who brought the paintings of Goya to Paris, and he also put the artists to the international biennials. So I went to Brazil for the Sao Paulo Biennial, which is the most important, and then the Venice Biennial. But in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, I was the first to show there because of him. From there, I started to show all around the world big exhibitions. Finland, the Jyväskylä in the middle of central Finland, which is the cultural center. I showed there woman shows, and they bought my work. And then in Sweden, in Frederickstad, another big city who have these biennials. I have a prize over there, and all around the world.
That's something that when I came to visit you, I mentioned that one of our goals at the partnership is to finally have a vehicle for local artists to be a part of the global art currents because they are very talented. They go to the best institutions. They are recognized, but we have not been able to be part of all those currents. I want to mention today we have Beatriz Echeverria, a great emerging local artist. She's really good, and she's with us today. And as Beatriz, we have other emerging artists. And you told me, well, we don't have embassies. That usually the embassies are the places where artists go and expose themselves. But I have some thoughts. Every time I go to one of our new residents, and we will have over 10,000, I will make a call for them to have at least one world class art by a local artist.
That's a good suggestion.
I would like to see their walls with good local art. And if we began a movement for them to show to their family, to their friends, to the outside world, we may begin a current because I think that Puerto Rican art have a place in the world that is higher than what we deserve to have a higher place. What are your
Well,
thoughts?
yeah. But let's also homage on these artists that by themselves have become very outstanding in New York, like Enoch Perez and the other is Otero, and then this from Loiza, Daniel Lin. So their work are very original. So we are not so
No, no, we have great.
floating in the island, down into the sea. No, no, no. Okay, okay.
Any questions from
Comments? Yeah.
or comment? Something that you would like to know, Jose?
He's a great artist and the greatest abstract painter of Puerto Rico. Uh, he paints different series, and he has painted differently all over the years. Wonderful, marvelous series. Which is your favorite?
No, no. I have four siblings, no, two boys and two girls, and it is same. It is same for the four. So believe me, because you have to fall in love with the work while you are working it. And when I finish, it's like a love affair. I really love it, and it's funny. And I had many love affairs in the past. You know, anyway, yes, every picture is a love affair, man. Let's say, and you love it, and I say it's a sibling, all of it. I can never say, never sort of one that I say, well, this I will, and I never erase it or whatever. No, no, no. No, I have, yeah. So that little ones, big ones, biggest ones, everything. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Uh,
Well, until the 1960s, oil painting was the medium. Then came acrylics. And I even wrote to them when they were developing the acrylics to the company because I did a mural in the Centro Médico, which is erased. It is erased now. Then came acrylics, and we started very cautious. But it's the media. It's the media of the 20th century at the end, and 21st century, etc. It's a real good media. It's perfect. Yeah. Oil is all right, but also in the tropics. If you work oil, I remember one of our great painters, Francisco Rodon, who used to paint in oil with oil, and paint. If you paint with dark colors and you storage that, you will get fungus in the painting all the time. Acrylics never. And I have acrylic for 50 now 80 years. Well, no, 60 years, and they never. They are no problem. That's it.
Wow, I learned something I didn't had an idea. Eh, as I said, Teodoro Moscoso was a mentor to me, and a mentor is a person that opens their life to you, and you can observe them. For his last 3 years of life, I observed how he thought, how he worked. Could you share an anecdote?
Initially, one of my mentors is Bertita Martinez, who is married to Guillermo Martinez, and we have this great group, La Culturarte. I still belong to it, but I cannot drive. Usually, I get there and they start drinking, and I don't know how I came out there, at 12 o'clock and drive home here. I cannot do that anymore. But was a great time. We met the greatest artist, the singer of the world. So it was a great opportunity. Here we had, I had a concert also here, a meetings of the Culturarte. And Teodoro came here. And then we started there the friendship. Then he bought paintings of mine. And I went to his home. And we talked about this Nobel Prize, the Tin Drum. Remember? And he was a very cultured man. And he bought some of my paintings. They have been inherited by his daughter, whoever. And
I know. Yeah. How did it feel? You were like right there in the middle of the generation of the 50s. With Tufino, a little bit later,
yeah.
Tufino and Lorenzo Mar, and
Sí.
it was a great moment in Puerto Rico development, post World War II, ¿verdad?
Sí.
And a lot of Jaime Benitez, great things were happening in Puerto Rico, ¿no? University of Puerto Rico, and Salina, Gutiérrez, a lot of people were coming from Europe to Puerto Rico. Pau Casals, ¿verdad? El Conservatorio de Música, el Festival Casals. How do you feel in many areas, in medicine, in the arts? How did it feel to be so close and a part of that generation, ¿verdad?
Yeah,
That enthusiasm in Puerto Rico.
Well, I was 21 years, and I came from American University with my master's degree, and I have been a pupil at the university of his classes of anthropology and archaeology of Ricardo Alegría. He's the father of to keep and to promote our Puerto Rican culture. But it sounds funny because it's Puerto Rican culture most of the time, even now, it's Puerto Rican popular culture. But you see, the planas and the well, the this, all these things, and even in painting and art. But he wasn't just for that, because I came being an abstract painter, and I put my first exhibition. It was a beautiful big exhibition because it was in the local and the Plaza de Colón, the original Institute of Culture. There was a big sala, a big place there. I say all of this because I have the fortune of being, he was my godfather, Ricardo Alegría. See? I used to work with the exhibitions, and there was this, El Museo Rodante. He got a big trailer from the UNESCO in Paris that was going to be thrown away, and he did this traveling museum. And I have to travel to the inner of the island through those, La Piquiña, those roads, really roads. And then I was a handyman. What I was a handyman. And then I put paint, he was my godfather. So what I say, that if you think Puerto Rican culture is Tufino, la plena, and all that thing in the Museum of Contemporary Art, and Omar and Tufino, all right, but that was the other thing. And I have excuse me for being so humble. I started that, the contemporary, the abstract painting, abstraction. But also because this man led me and helped me. And I was friend of Tufiño, Omar. Oh, we were very close friend to Omar. I learned silk screen from Omar, and I did my first prints, silk screens. No, it wasn't easy. And also I met Tufiño. We were very good friends. It doesn't have to be. No. But I was the modern, and then I started with this exhibition of abstract art, abstract art. I have some people who didn't like it, some artists also, but forget about it. And I am still for that, no, contemporary art. That's my main.
And another anecdote that I just want to see what comes to your mind. You also told me that Don Luis Ferré was a very good mecenas with you. And he's a person that I hope I had met him more because he really was such a person of all everything. He was an artist, he was a former governor, businessman, pianist, everything.
Well, in my first exhibition, that at the Institute of Culture, he went there and he bought paintings, small one and a big one, and from that on, every show I had, he always he came and buy works. And Rosario also, she donated to the museum. She had many good paintings of mine. Yeah.
Very Mona.
Somebody who's never done art classes or learned in universities and colleges, do you have any suggestions and anything that you can tell somebody who just loves painting but has not done any?
I would like to paint, but I've never painted.
I will tell you, in your case, it's very difficult, but you should marry a painter.
You should marry a painter.
I got that.
Have to take classes, go to the League of Art. They have the League of Art, yeah, here in Old San Juan. This Art Students League. That's the best. And there are many women there. They were my pupils, most of. Yeah, because I used to teach there, but in the past. Or what? Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if you have to be talented or you can be an artist. I mean, to be an artist, you have to have it. And I want to know if you have seen that experience while teaching. How was your experience as a professor? That you have to be born. You have to born with a certain talent.
Usually,
You can learn it
usually you have to born with the spirit. It's impossible to.
with the talent.
Yeah. That's why Picasso is so great because I don't know 5 years. Right? His mother said, "Oh, this is and she helping and helping and helping." No, and his father was a painter, so he learned how to paint the pigeons and etc. You remember? Anyway, yes, no, you have to have an environment of art. I suppose there are so many artists that go to New York or go to Paris, no, and they aspire to, and then getting together in the workshops and knowing the other, they start painting, and suddenly they become painters. I mean, it is not something that you cannot do. I think that any one of you, if you really are well directed, and I give you a crayon and a paper, you can do a painting. Yes, but I'm not going to do that.
I have another question.
Yeah.
You mentioned that sometimes you go back to the constellations or to the.
Yes.
It seems that you were obsessed with the microscope and that stage. But then you mentioned that sometimes you go back to another series, or no? You get obsessed and you finish. You get out of yourself everything.
No. Yes, you can go back.
You go
For
back.
example, with the constellation, with the geometrical abstraction, it's most of the time they are landscapes or cityscapes. No, I always have abstraction and geometrical forms in my side. I have many nude paintings. I showed it in YouTube. There is one of the National Gallery where I show my show was called Hernandez Cruz Abstract and Figurative, and the figurative are very sexual. How you call it? I have there about 20 paintings of love affairs like that with the squares. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but Oh, that's one thing I love it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Después de tantas décadas, ¿verdad? De evolución, del abstracto más fluido
Uh-huh.
a después más geométrico, pixelado,
Uh-huh.
lo que hace ahora.
Everything,
¿Cómo
everything.
describiría su trabajo ahora? ¿Qué es lo que hace ahora?
Ah, no, I follow you. Well, you see, I never stay in one moment, in one, in one stage. I'm the owner of all these stages, styles, and painting. I have them. I have them in here, no. And what I do is from time to time I take from this and the other and the other, but I'm always aware. For example, I received the astronomy magazine, no? It's incredible how the world is developing. So many universes every day, every moment, every second. I follow all that because you learn how the universe is expanding and it's new every second. So why I am going to stay painting these little scenes? And if it sells and you say, oh, this sells, no, impossible. No. You have to go on taking everything from the universe to even in dreams, no? The bonsais, I do always a communication with other human beings. All the time, you have to be in communication. You cannot get alone. So I say, I don't have one style. Oh yes, I have a moment of abstraction, of geometrical abstraction, another of figures, another with figures with the geometry, another with nudes. I painted many nudes; those are hidden. So I do anything. I do the nudes. I did, all the time at the beginning. Well, in American, when I get to American University, there was a nude there, and you have to paint it. But then you get abstractions from that. So that is it. Oh, it's a fantastic word. Art is a extraordinary word. No, it's like music. I'm talking about music. My favorite composer is Richard Strauss. Richard Strauss. I sleep every night. I have to play it every night.
When you start the painting process, do you do a sketch, haces un boceto antes, or just it flow? And like, how long does it take between the moment that you start thinking about what you're gonna paint and until you finish it?
Well, yes, yeah. Well, I use photos, no, from all these magazines. Now I just imagine I start doing little sketches and then put it there and go on. If you start an abstract painting, you don't know how it is going to finish. You don't know how it's going to end because that's the beauty of it. No, it's a trip. You have to. It's a traveling into that world, and it's a trip. And,
To music, and you listen to music after you.
oh yes, yeah. Especially Strauss, but all the others. So if you get to my room, I cannot get you to all of you. I have a nude there, a big nude, and so many other little paintings, and then this collection of compact discs, and nobody uses that anymore. So for me, it's a memory there. Because I not even I have something that I put in my Richard Strauss. Great.
I have a wisdom sharing question. Uh, I am 66, so that's social security age. Yeah. And,
But you don't look.
and I took out of my dictionary the word retirement.
Yeah.
And recently I was in a conversation with Joaquin Biso. I think he's 82. And I kind of asked him how you see life. And he told me, I never think of age. I approach every day as normal as I have all my projects, and I think that was a great wisdom sharing. How you see aging? Do you have a lot of projects that you would like to have? What can you
Well,
share with us?
I'm also 66. In spirit, I have 25, and I drink a lot of whiskey. Macallan. So every day I start to work. The bonsai painting is always in my mind. Every day I have to. every day. When I finish one, I am thinking in the other, and you go on and on and on. It's just that not to stop, because no, artists usually fall dead painting, and that's it. Yeah, yeah.
Yo tengo una pregunta en esa línea.
Uh-huh.
Que you mentioned that you went to Germany for a month to study how to make los vitrales.
Oh, not to Germany, no, no,
¿Dónde
no.
fue? Pero,
Well, the story of my
so
class.
you didn't know how to do
Yes.
that, and you went to learn.
Yeah, these vitrales, the name for those is that's the Verre. It is from France. The first time I saw that was, I remember, in Madrid, in a church of the Sagrado Corazón, whatever, in El Paseo de La Habana, Paseo de La Habana, and I was falling in love with that, and the other murals that were with wood. And those were done by an artist, an extraordinary artist. He was an architect also. Eventually, he was the one who did the new Plaza de Colón. And I showed there in the Museum of Art there in Plaza de Colón, in the old library, stained glass that you see in all the churches, and they are fantastic. There are very modern ones also. So that was one experience, and eventually they built the Centro de Bellas Artes, the theaters, and the architect Hernandez. He studied in Mexico, and he liked to do these big things. Then they had this big space to make a glass wall. And I said, "Well, that's me." So finally, I got that assignment with the help of Ricardo Alegría again, and it's the only ones in Puerto Rico. Yeah.
Well, you have been extremely generous with your time, with your home, with your. We really appreciate. We really appreciate. Thanks for opening your place, your
My
home,
pleasure.
and your
My
art.
pleasure.